is it true that every brick that built this wellness center is dipped in the medicine?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, of that place, of the first original
of the
house.
main
Yeah,
house.
the main
Okay.
house. Our house, not every brick, but every joint, every place, every joint have
So
my
you
medicine.
made sure that the medicine.
Yeah, it's
is in-
everywhere. It's in everywhere,
It's in
but in every
everything.
structure. But the first house, actually, every brick had my medicine. And it's like,
Wow. Wow.
you know, so you basically live in the cactus, you know.
Yeah.
Like right there.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like you
yeah.
live in the cactus.
Yeah,
know.
you can feel the energy.
It's a cactus house.
You know, as soon as I walked through the gate, I could feel the energy. You know, and then after the first week, and then after the second week, it's like when we get home from ceremony,
Yeah, you feel.
I'm always like, oh, it's so good to be
good.
home. I love coming home.
All right. Okay, Brooke.
Okay, Sergey.
What's happening here? Yeah, it's recording, so good.
Okay.
Okay, Brooke. Well, here you go, back home.
Here I go. 5 weeks.
5 weeks.
Just boom, in
Two,
the blink of
that's
an
it.
eye.
Gone.
Gone, but it felt like 5 months, maybe even 5 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you have that
Yeah.
mix of feeling.
Oh, yeah.
It's fast, but at the same time, a lot happened
Yeah.
during this time.
Yeah.
So maybe you want to introduce yourself first, and why you came here, and what are you doing back in life, your professions, and how you got to plant medicine, and your intention.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
just look here, not in the camera.
My name's Brooke. I'm an EMT,
Which is?
emergency medical technician. I got that certification 6 years ago, and I was on an ambulance for 4 years, 8 months out of the year on the ambulance, and then 4 months out of the year I was a swift water lifeguard on the rivers around Portland, Oregon. Super amazing career, helping people, keeping people safe. I love it. And then I took a year off for my son's accident. And then the last year before I came here, I worked in an emergency room at a little community hospital. And that's what I do professionally. I'm a mother of 2 boys, 23 and 20, Caleb and Kobe. And they are absolutely the light of my life. And I'm married, but separated. And what brought me here was I was broken. I came to you spiritually broken, mentally broken, physically completely unhealthy, and addicted to alcohol. And most importantly, really disconnected from myself. So, yeah, I came here broken. Honestly, it was like a last-ditch effort. I didn't know what to do. I'd been drinking every day for 2 years, and
That's following the accident of your son?
yeah. A year and a half ago, my son was in an accident, snowboarding accident, and broke his neck, broke his body, terrible spinal cord injury, collapsed lung, was knocked unconscious for over 15 minutes, terrible head trauma, massive traumatic brain injury, and he was life-flighted to the closest trauma hospital, and he actually died en route. They had to bring him back, they had to revive him via CPR, and
Electric shock.
they didn't have to shock him. They got him back via CPR,
Pumping.
but and medications.
The pumping of the heart.
Yep,
right?
pumping of the heart, and he stabilized by the time he got to the emergency room, and then it unfolded from there. And he was in ICU for over 2 weeks after 2 major neurosurgeries, and ICU for 2 weeks, and then they flew us to a neuro rehab facility where we were inpatient for 4 months, and then several surgeries thereafter. And he's paralyzed in his upper right limb and shoulder and everything, but he got his legs back, and he's mentally really strong. But that broke me, and I turned to alcohol, and I started drinking every day. And it just progressively got worse and worse and worse.
It's totally understandable, such a trauma,
Yeah. Yeah.
So basically, his heart stopped
He
for
died.
50 minutes.
No, he was unconscious for 15 minutes.
Ah.
His heart stopped in life flight, and they brought him back
How long it was the stopping?
within a minute. But,
So that's basically, like, technically it's death,
yeah,
physical death.
Yeah,
if the
he
heart
died.
Stops.
his heart
So
stopped.
that's it. Just you
Yep,
have
he
that line.
flatlined.
You have a line.
Yeah,
That's scary, and they just brought him back.
yeah,
So basically, he came from the other side already.
he did.
It was a second chance. It's a very powerful story.
Yeah,
And of course, there's a lot of healing to do.
yeah. And for a mama bear, that's a nightmare. That's your worst nightmare.
Yeah, it's
I mean, you
absolutely-
can imagine
No,
with the
that's- I don't
girls.
want to
You know,
imagine that.
it's awful.
That's the worst thing that
It was
happened
awful.
to you. As a parent.
Mhm.
So that's really sorry to hear about that. But the
Yeah.
good thing that he is back. He is living.
Yes.
With injuries, of course, but he's alive and he's mentally there and he's walking. So
And his spirit
the-
is so
yeah.
strong. Yeah.
So he's living. He's
Yeah.
there. We just need to boost him up spiritually, and there's a lot we can do for him here
He'll be here.
on
He's
that,
coming
on
for
the
sure.
psycho-spiritual level.
Along with the nervous system damage, Huachuma heals the nervous system,
Yeah.
and he still is struggling with
Yeah, of course, of
trauma.
course.
It's his second terrible traumatic brain injury.
Of
So
course.
I'm really excited for him to get time here with you and with the medicine.
That's, I didn't have people coming with such severe physical injuries before,
Mhm.
but I had different kind of injuries, which is head injuries, like people from sport. Like, for example, there was one guy from Canada. He was a hockey player.
Yeah, you told me about him.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
a lot of concoction. It's like
Yes.
so. Huachuma helped
Multiple
him.
concussions.
Yeah. So, and he's not the only one. People do find healing
Yeah.
in that sense
Yeah.
from traumas, like physical traumas.
Yeah.
The psycho-spiritual, that's much easier for me to work.
Yeah.
Like I can.
You're a pro.
That's
at that.
more. That's my specialty.
Yeah.
That's what I do here.
Yeah, a soul engineer.
Yes, the
Yeah.
soul engineering.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
love
we
that.
do here. That's
I
easier
love that. Yeah.
than the physical stuff, because the physical is just something kind of out. It's like outside of my reach directly. Speaking. It's not like I can go and
Yeah.
fix your brain. That's what the medicine does.
Yeah, I was gonna say
The
that's where the
medicine does.
medicine
Yeah.
comes in
By
and
itself. This is
weaves
the magic
itself
we don't
into-
understand.
Yeah,
It just happens.
Yeah.
I can see that. I can attest to it.
I can
You know?
feel it. I
Yeah.
know it. I can
Definitely.
attest to it as well.
Yeah, it just
Yeah.
rewires your brain chemistry somehow, and resets your central nervous system.
Yeah.
That's like a physiological, cellular. I don't even know what kind of levels that is, but it goes there and fixes you up.
Yep.
But that's not something really I do. Is the medicine does.
Yeah.
I am more there to kind of guide you in a spiritual sense, to
Yeah.
kind of, leading to understanding, to things like that. So together it works very well.
Yeah.
So definitely, I'm certain that I can do good for him. I don't know to what extent.
Yeah.
There is nothing guaranteed here, but I can see area where we can work on.
He'll be here.
So that's very hopeful.
Yeah.
As long as he walk
Yep.
and he can walk, so it's okay. He can join our.
Absolutely. He
You know,
spent this
walks.
last weekend hiking miles and miles
Yeah,
in the
that's fine.
mountains. So yeah,
we
he's
don't
good.
even do that much here.
Yeah.
So that's a good news.
Mhm.
Of course, there's a lot of trauma in you and him. It's like this a whole family. It's a serious,
Oh, man.
serious situation. And he's still working
Well,
through
our
it.
life changed in the blink of an eye. You know what I mean? Forever.
Broken.
Forever it'll
Yeah,
change
I know.
us. Yeah. It
But-
took us some time to heal.
But how you feel? Maybe this is the point to start our conversation. How do you feel now about this? What happened after these 5 weeks?
Well, I started my healing at home, on this topic, because initially I was angry and I was hurt. I mean, I cried, sobbed and cried for months. Not in front of Caleb, but I would go to my room and
Angry
just cry.
because that happened.
Angry because I felt like he was robbed. He had life at his fingertips, and boom, it just took him down. I mean, it's a year and a half, he still hasn't snowboarded, no mountain biking. I was pissed. My baby is now has to live this life of a paralyzed person. He lost his legs for a few months. He was in a wheelchair. He couldn't go to the bathroom by himself. And so I was angry. And so I had to start that healing with myself. And so I did turn to nature a ton, and alcohol. Alcohol poisoned me, nature healed me. But slowly but surely, what I did is I flipped to gratitude. And I just began to focus on what I was grateful for. And I kept pointing out to myself, he's alive. He's still Caleb. He's getting his legs back. He's left-handed, and it's his right arm that's paralyzed. So, and he was at work at the time of the accident. So 100% of his medical bills and surgeries and everything is covered by workman's comp insurance.
Which is a lot of money.
Oh, he's over $1 million. Far over $1 million, and we don't even have to, we don't have to worry about that. So I flipped the switch to gratitude, and that helped me heal. But at the same time, I just kept poisoning myself and poisoning
To
myself.
numb the
I couldn't
pain.
deal with the stress. I couldn't deal with the pain. Yeah, to numb. And so here now, how I feel about it is freer. There was so much guilt that I carried in my heart, and there was so much hurt and pain. And the medicine just slowly but surely, from the very first ceremony, started to fill me with love, started to fill me with light, and helped me to focus on that gratitude so much more. And so I'm leaving here just grateful that I have my baby still. Just I feel grateful instead of angry or hurt or guilty.
So you feel like you transformed these negative emotions during this time?
I
But
don't
it's
know
not
that
there.
it's not there.
It's not there.
It's completely gone. The emptiness and the hole in my heart that I came with has been filled with light and love. And it was the medicine started it and just helped me to focus on the positives and the love. And yeah, I mean, it's gone
That's beautiful.
completely. Yeah, my genuine smile is back. Like, I feel so much
Yeah,
lighter.
you weren't smiling much when you came.
I was smiling, but it was real fake.
Yeah.
It was inauthentic, and it was just like hard.
Yeah,
But
that
yeah,
wasn't
now
the
I can't
power.
stop smiling. Like I'm just so full of joy. It's
Well,
pure.
did you think it could be possible 5 weeks ago that you will feel that way in
I
such a
didn't-
short time?
I didn't know what to expect. I really didn't. I've never ever been introduced to Huachuma or any mescaline-based medicine or any plant medicine for
But you
that
had
matter.
mushrooms.
I have mushrooms, but I didn't use them as a healing tool. I used them as a way to connect to nature and to connect to myself. Psilocybin it brings me happiness and joy, but it's very different for me than Huachuma. Huachuma, by the second ceremony, filled literally every cell in my body with love. Self-love, love for everything around me, love for everyone in my life. So this is so beautiful. I did not know that was possible. And especially so early. Second ceremony.
Yeah, very fast.
Yeah.
So how was the process for you in the medicine? What was the introduction like to the Huachuma?
Yeah, the introduction was, I don't know if you remember my first ceremony,
Of course.
but I was a mess. I had anxiety through the roof. I mean, I was fearful. I was anxious. I was trembling, a bit. I didn't know what to expect. And so you gave me just a perfect amount for a nice introduction. Yep, just shh. I love your sound effects. Perfect introduction. It wasn't overwhelming. It was beautiful. Visually, everything was beautiful. And almost immediately in ceremony 1, I started to release the tears that I had been shoving down for months and months. I would start to cry at home. And I would say, not now, Brook. We've got life to live. We've got work to do in the ER. We've got, you know what I mean? You can't let this go. And so I would shove them. And ceremony 1, it was just like, I could feel it in my stomach, come up my chest, and right out my eyes. And it was just like beautiful crying, though. It wasn't painful crying. It was just
Healing.
cleansing and release and healing. My first 2 ceremonies, I cried beautifully, though. It just felt so good. Yeah.
And then?
And then, starting with ceremony 3, I think I had a proper amount to actually really feel and engage with the medicine well. And that too was beautiful. And so, but I did lay down. I marched a lot my first 2 ceremonies. I was just so anxious.
That was black medicine, I think, no?
No, I was
No,
still on
still-
the light. Yeah, still on the light, 3/4 cup. And and I was able to lay down, and I was able to sit with myself. I was able to sit with the medicine, and I was able to start that process that the medicine helps reveal, I guess, thoughts that need to happen. You know, I would put my intention in opening ceremony, and a lot of at the very end, I would say, I trust you, Huachuma. I trust Sergey. I trust the group that's with me, and it just very, very gently would help me to focus on the things that I needed to focus on and start to heal. And with that amount of time sitting with the medicine, it was just like thoughts would come to me, and they were all very gentle thoughts and loving. It wasn't dark, which I was really scared about. I didn't need to focus on my dark side, quite yet. And so it was a gentle process, and it just started with ceremony 3. And the first couple of hours of ceremony for me are just so enlightening. And I'm just able to think about things that I need to think about, and then sit with them. And then the medicine guides me. And for the first week, the medicine basically just told me, you are love, you are light, you are okay. And so for me, it was just really, really beautiful. Yeah.
So how was it like in the middle of the process, like after 2.5, 3 weeks?
Yeah.
What changed?
Once I started drinking the dark medicine, it was a much more internal process, and I did have to face some things about my marriage, about my children, about my parenting, about my friendships, about my relationships with family, about my career. And it was hard sometimes to face those things. It was still very gentle and very beautiful, but there were some tougher ceremonies where I had a much harder time just sitting with myself and sitting with the medicine. But, a tough ceremony and then a beautiful ceremony where I would get the clarity and I would get the lightness, and I would start to feel the joy and the laughter and the beauty. And so, a couple tough ceremonies, mostly just really, really beautiful and gentle. And then as I formed the relationship with the medicine, it was just, it's hard to put into words. Like, I don't really know how to explain it. But layer by layer by layer, just slowly and gently, the medicine just helped me remove guilt, shame, anxiety, fear, self-hatred, self-doubt. And just, it was replaced with love for myself, first and foremost, love for everything around me, and just clarity. Like, it just, things make sense. You know what I mean? And connection to myself. I feel more connected to myself than I have ever in my adult life, ever. In 5 weeks, and true joy. So I would say the medicine for me is a true healer. And you, of course. It was so nice to have you there with me, to just tell you what I was thinking about, what my intention was, and the way that you're able to word your analogies and your wisdom. It clicked with me. It made so much sense. And then I was able to, lay and sit with the medicine even longer and process and muck through it all, just clear it out. It's just clear. Clarity is just a huge word that comes to mind for me.
Yeah, well, Huachuma is the medicine, clarity, foremost.
Yeah, but it's a wonderful combination
And,
having you,
of course.
out there with us.
It's
always.
together,
Yeah.
It's together.
Yeah.
The medicine opens you up,
We did it
and
together.
I guide it through conversation, through my own understanding, through
And
my
energy.
connection, and
Mhm.
energy. Yeah. So together we make sense,
Yeah.
So
And the group.
Yeah,
I
of
mean, the
course.
people who are here too. We sit after ceremony, after we close, and we sit around the fire and we process and we go through it. Everybody gets a chance to kind of go through how their day was, how their ceremony was. And there's so much understanding because we've all sat with the medicine together throughout the day.
Mhm.
And so it's just beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a whole system.
that's the purpose of this,
Yeah.
the after ceremony, which is still a ceremony.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, yeah.
informal part, but still the medicine going, it's still in it.
Absolutely.
And then we learn from each other, you know, that's where the beauty is, you
Yeah.
know.
And
During the day,
support.
we learn from the medicine.
You learn from the
And
medicine,
from me, you know, it's like,
and there's
it's
so
more,
much support here.
yeah.
Yeah,
But nighttime, that's when people learn from each other.
yeah, and
Yeah,
form
hearing
like
stories.
connections. You know, there was a few people here in the beginning of my stay. I only got to spend 2 weeks with them, 3 weeks with them, and I think we'll be connected forever. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it feels like years. It feels like you've known them for years.
Yeah, it's a deep soul bond.
It
It's
is.
a bonding. Huachuma is a bonding medicine.
Yeah.
It's just like this. These are your friends, really. Shh, Goles, relax. Goles, relax. Goles, Sudaidi.
Come here, Gully.
Now I need to edit, making more work.
Bye,
Ciao,
Cynthia.
Cynthia.
Mwah.
So, what I was saying is like Huachuma is the bonding medicine. That's you spend a day with a person you never met in your life. You feel like this is your true friend. This is the person who understands you now.
Yeah.
You know, and this is the person you want to spend time with and be in touch with. You know, in comparison, you know, you can have friends for years
Yeah.
and it's so shallow. You know, it's just
Oh,
not.
yeah.
It's like you
20s
know,
and 30s, I went through that so much.
because the level of experience, that's what it is. It's
Yeah.
like you experience things together that are so unique that it's just like it just bonds you.
And we're
There's
living
no other-
together.
yeah,
You know,
living
we're
together.
sharing this entire experience together
Yeah.
for an extended
You
period
see
of
each other
time, so-
healing.
Mhm,
You see each
yeah.
other transformation.
Oh,
You see people that
huge.
come like this and they live like that.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
so
That auras change,
and other
energies
people feel
change,
like that. Yeah.
eyes change, faces change. It's like a brightness comes over
Yeah,
people.
light through the eyes.
yeah,
You know.
yeah.
So. Okay, so what would you tell to people who would want to come but are still afraid of plant medicine? You know, being brainwashed by the
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, by the cultural programming, and you know,
Yeah.
seeing that as you know, I mean, drugs or something,
Yeah.
which is of course absurd, but you know,
Yeah.
for us who understand that, but
Yeah.
for many people, they still live in that stigma.
Yeah.
You know, plant medicine for them is just like something
Well,
dangerous.
It's
something,
intimidating. It's intimidating because you don't know what to expect. And what I would tell anyone who's intimidated, it took me a while to pull the trigger too, because of that intimidation. Not the drugs factor, but just, am I going to see a side of myself that I never wanted to see? Or, you know, you don't know what's going to happen. And what I would say is that Huachuma is gentle, loving, powerful, healing plant medicine. It's a beautiful process. I mean, it doesn't matter if you suffer from mental, physical, unhealthy patterns, addictions, anything. Like, come here, come do this, give it a try. You will not regret it. This 5-week trip is the best investment I've ever made in myself, hands down. The accommodations are absolutely beautiful, and it's not just the Huachuma. You're sitting with the medicine and with you and with the group 3 days a week. 4 days a week, you're in a beautiful community. You're eating healthy food. You walk everywhere. I've lost 18 pounds.
Wow.
My skin is healthier. My hair is healthier. My eyes are clearer. The physical health benefits are insurmountable. The mental health benefits are unparalleled. And, you know, as a single female traveler, I was intimidated. It's a very loving and trusting environment. Come, I would say, come here. Get here as soon as you can. Absolutely.
You know, many times I thought maybe I should put my website Huachuma as a weight loss medicine.
That's why I'm saying it, because
I mean,
that's a
that
side
happened.
effect.
That's a
I
side
didn't-
effect.
I didn't come here for.
Yeah, I know, but
It's
that
just-
happened.
Yeah.
It's like,
Just
okay,
add it to the top line. Huachuma is also a weight loss medication.
Yeah.
Which it's the Huachuma.
And it's not just that; it's also a very potent fertilizer. I mean,
Is it really?
yeah. It's
Okay.
like I had some stories to share, but I can't.
Oh, so if you're trying to have a baby, also,
Yeah.
we need to add this stuff to the
No,
website.
but I
Sergey.
can't do
Yeah.
this because it's like. It's not what we do here. This is not a
Yeah.
fertilization clinic or
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? But
Yeah.
things happen that it's like from people's story. I've heard stories from people that it could not happen.
Babies?
Yeah.
Getting pregnant?
Yeah,
Wow.
one girl got pregnant right in her period.
Wow.
How is that possible?
I didn't know that was possible. She
That-
became more fertile.
Well,
She's
yeah, I mean, they,
Makes
after
sense.
ceremony, you know, she and her, I don't know, it was a boyfriend or husband there, I'm not
Yeah.
sure, but they just, you know, got together and, did their thing, and then
boom, she's
boom,
pregnant.
and she's like, that's not possible, I'm on a period. So it's just like, what? Okay, I mean, people keep surprising me here, you know.
People keep surprising you in Huachuma.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like the healing powers go deeper and deeper and deeper. Because I know there's been people here with health problems as well that,
Oh, many.
yeah, that.
There was
we've-
another guy he was like in his 60s, and I'm not sure. I think it was on his end, like something was his sperm. I mean, he just maybe got old and
Yeah.
kind of dried out, you know.
It does, yeah.
But his wife was a lot younger, and then I just gave him therapy, you know, 30 days
Yep.
microdosing, and he drank that, and then she got pregnant, and then they blamed me on that. So your fault. It's like, hey, I didn't sleep with your wife.
Wait.
You it's like,
Is-
you know what I mean?
It's
Like,
not what he came here for.
well,
He
it
was on
wasn't.
therapy for it.
But
so-
it wasn't really. It wasn't the intention. It just was
Yeah.
for his well-being, kind of. You know, just to kind of,
Oh, okay.
well-being and going through life.
Way to
you
go,
know?
Huachuma.
Yeah, but that's
Making babies.
they had a baby, you know, after this period. So I'm like, okay, that's already the second
Yeah,
example.
yeah. Maybe there's something to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like totally. The way I see it is that that's something I see in the work in myself and people.
Yeah.
Is that Huachuma is the life force medicine.
Life force.
Life force.
I
It's
like
just
that.
what it is. It's just that.
Yeah.
That's where the healing comes from. It gives you the life force and it kind of totally regenerates your body
Oh.
in different ways.
Oh,
You
the
know.
amount of natural energy, too, that
yeah,
we
that's
feel,
how you
like,
feel. Like
the life
you feel
force.
enlightened. You feel
Yeah.
like so fully
Yeah.
powerful. That's what the medicine gives you because, and then it just finds its own interpretation in different way. For some people, it's just babies. For others, other things. So it's not just like a fertile in that sense. It's just a fertile with life energy. That's for sure. That's just a fact. But it's kind of, express itself in different way. That's what I'm trying to say. So I just share with you two things that were specific to that.
Well, it's almost like the medicine knows what needs to be healed. Do you know what
Yeah,
I mean?
oh, it
Or
knows
what
for
needs
sure.
work, and so
That's
it
for
just
sure.
finds its way
Yes,
to
to
those
do
areas
that,
for each specific person.
This is why I can't advertise this because this is not something. I mean, this is not something we
Well, it's
do
not
here.
guaranteed
It's not
results.
guaranteed
It's just,
results. Yeah, it can happen to you.
Share testimonials, stories.
Yeah,
people
no,
read through
that's
it.
okay.
Yeah.
It's like, but I don't want people starting to
Yeah.
write me, "Hey, I'm overweight.
Yeah.
I want to lose some weight." Kind of this. Is there anything you would like to share with women,
Absolutely.
like a woman to woman?
A woman to woman.
Yeah.
As a female traveling solo, for me, I was a bit worried about being able to connect and being able to trust the environment that I am in, and also feeling safe. And so what I would say to women out there who want to come there, especially alone, because it is, it's different a little bit for us. And so I would say that definitely the trust is there. From the moment that I met you, I felt trust in you, and I feel safe in your home. I feel safe at your wellness center, and more importantly, I feel safe in Calca. Like the environment lends to a real comfortable setting, and so I would just share that it's safe and comfortable. And one of the nicest surprises for me as a female was that I felt in your medicine and in working with you that you have a feminine side to the work that you do. And I felt that in the Huachuma, and I felt that in your approach to our conversations. I never felt overmasculated or talked down to by any of the guests here. And so that was a really nice surprise for me. And I just feel really comfortable here. And so, you know, as a female, I would recommend coming here by yourself or with another friend. It's a really wonderful environment.
Well, that's important because that's certainly an issue in many places, and you hear stories, you know, of abuse and stuff. It's just
Right
you
now,
know,
I'm
mostly
hearing-
happen when people go to jungle, you know. and
Yeah,
lost
but
their-
even in the States, I'm hearing story after story of abuse, when, especially women, when we're at our most vulnerable in the medicine, whatever that medicine might be,
Yeah.
that there are male shamans and people who work with medicines that are taking advantage, and that's a really scary thing. So, I mean, there's not even the slightest little inkling of that here, which is really comforting.
It's very unfortunate that some people give bad medicine to the bad name to the medicine, you know.
Oh, it is.
It's like
It is. It breaks my heart because it turns people away, and especially females. You know, for us, we live in a world where we're objectified and we're catcalled in the States daily, on the streets, in restaurants and bars all over the place. You know, men look at us and objectify us, and then to feel like we need help and we need healing. And
then you
to
come
not,
to the medicine, and
yeah,
you have
you
the
come
same
to
thing.
the
you know.
medicine, and then we get, you know, there's a relationship of trust that's built initially, and then
Then it's broken.
it's broken, and it scares people, especially women, especially females. It's very scary to feel like we would ever put ourselves in that situation. And so I had a couple of girlfriends who were here earlier this year, so I was able to reflect with them and ask them how they felt here, so I had that, which was really nice. But I give my word, you know, that this is safe. Not only safe, but extremely comfortable and warm and welcoming, and the trust is huge. It's like the
Of course,
foundation.
very important. It's foundation.
Yeah.
So, what would you say about your colleagues, people who you work with in this extremely stressful, bloody environment of, you know, sickness and death
Yeah.
all the time? Like, how do they cope with that, and what is their way to decompress and detach from this when they come home? You know,
Yeah.
and not to bring that back, not to bring their work into their life.
Yeah. What I can speak to, especially in emergency medicine, in my time in the ER, which was what I was doing right before I came here, I actually left that job to come here and spend this time in Peru with you and the medicine. But it wears on you. And even though we have training and we have resources, how to decompress the illness that we see, the deep sickness that we see, the death that we see day in and day out, especially during COVID. People were coming in on with the Lucas attached to them, CPR in progress, and we were trying to bring them back to life. They were drowning in their own fluids on a weekly basis, let alone the trauma, the car accidents, the broken bones, open fractures. I mean, stuff that, you know, a lot of people can't handle and we can't take. And we have chosen to help people on their worst days, but it catches up with you. There's no way to see what we see and leave it at home. And so I know for me, like my first couple of months working in the emergency room, I was dreaming about it. So it was affecting my sleep, which was affecting my energy levels, which was affecting my mental capacity to deal with the career field that I've chosen. And so I think that we need to find a way to decompress and to process everything that we're seeing and feeling with our patients, and to process it and then let it go, release it. And I would say that this right here is one of the best ways to go about that, to be able to find the light again, to find the mental clarity, to recharge your battery, to go back into the field and do what we've chosen to do day in and day out in emergency medicine and police officers and, you know, the firefighters and the people who are helping people on their worst days. This right here is a healing medicine and a healing retreat. I don't know if you call it retreat. I guess it's a wellness center.
It's like it's almost like we need to sign a contract with your division,
Yeah.
with your you know,
Yeah.
emergency room.
I mean, it's not a bad idea to
Reach
be able
out.
to get the message to emergency rooms across the world, because everyone's suffering for it. And right now, the COVID fatigue is so thick, and it's because we saw death day in, day out, every week, couple times a week. The coroner was coming in and taking bodies out of our emergency rooms, out of our hospitals, and to see that so much and so thick on a daily basis.
Hey!
What is it?
Cats.
Luna and Kiwi.
Luna, scratching the coach outside.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah, so I would say come here, get well, sit with the medicine, get with Sergey, decompress, get that stuff off your chest, out of your mind, and recharge, and just find that light again and the reason why we want to help people, you know, in that capacity.
it reminds me of a conversation I had with a friend, a guest, who was here I don't know, a month ago, who is a detective sergeant from UK, who, you know, solving crimes all the time, heavy crimes.
Yeah, I watched that
Division.
interview last week.
It's like murder all the time, you know.
Oh, yes.
So imagine that. I mean, you see people killed every day, and then you go home and you watch TV, watch Netflix with your wife. You know what I mean? That's just like
there's no way to consolidate what you see day in and day out, like compartmentalize it and stay healthy for years to come.
that's
So,
very hard. It's like I don't know
we-
how I would do that.
We need a place, you know,
Yeah.
in these professions where we're seeing the worst of humanity, the worst of
Yeah.
sicknesses and illnesses and traumas, a place to come and feel safe and process it and let it go. Get rid of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's very important. If not, you get sick yourself. You just break down sometime down the road.
No, absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
it's like you're not a machine, you're not a robot.
No, it's very
Or
common.
you become so detached from everything that you lose your humanity in the process. Then what's the point? You know, trying to help people, trying to solve crimes, but then you lose your humanity and you disconnect from your loved ones. It's
Yeah.
like, you know, you kind of, it's unbalanced life. You
It's
know,
a completely unbalanced life. We need this kind of
you need
help
Huachuma.
because we need Huachuma
Emergency room need Huachuma.
and the slow pace here. You know what I mean? Like everything just slows down
Slow
here.
hours, yeah.
You know, in the work with the medicine, it's a nice, slow, beautiful place where we get to just sit with ourselves, sit with the medicine, sit with nature, and yeah, we need this type of healing, big time. And it's very common in emergency medicine and police work, detective
Yeah.
work, firefighters.
Oh, yeah.
To that, you know, we use our resources as much as we can for a while, but then it just stacks up, it adds up. And so clinical depression and suicidal ideation is very common. And who do we turn to? You know, a lot of people end up turning to pharmaceutical medications, and that long term is just,
It's not
I
good.
don't know, because then you have to take a medication for the side effect of the medication, and then a medication for the side effect medication.
You end up with a cocktail of medications.
Yeah, instead
that
of just being able to
fry your brain out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just turn to the plants, turn to the plant medicine, heal, find that love again, find that joy again, and, you know, go back and do what we've chosen to do day in and day out, which is help people.
That's very important.
Yeah.
Very important. I had some people from this line of work, you know, firefighters,
Yeah.
emergency room, you know, technicians, detectives, you know. And now I might have a guy coming. He's a prison guard. It'll be interesting to see how that works.
I worked with a prison guard in the emergency room. She made it 3 years. And she said it was the sickest she's ever been. By the end of the third year, she was the sickest she's ever been, just being
As a
around
prison guard.
prison guard.
That's the thing. I mean, he wrote me like just a few days ago, and I thought like, and I wrote him back. I said, "Wow, it's like you. It seems like you're. It seems like your life in prison without a conviction."
Without the conviction,
You know?
and they start out just, you know what I mean, easygoing. They're just around criminals, which, you know, she was in with the worst criminals that in a really hard penitentiary. But she said she got to the point to where she no longer saw them as humans. You know what I mean? And so it was this horrible interaction and exchange with these prisoners day in and day out, and she just got really sick. Yeah, mentally.
That's it. That's what I suggested. Like, you know.
Yes.
Well, he understands that he feels the calling, that this is the the place to do it and the
Yep.
medicine to work with. So this is, but I never worked with somebody who had that kind of profession. So it would be interesting to see change in him, how he decompressed and how he reconnect with
Yeah.
humans, and how that will affect his work later too.
That's what I'm thinking
You know,
too, because
that would
it
be
might be the
interesting.
hugest gift to him and
To
the
continue
prisoners
in
that
your
he
life,
works with.
because what Detective Surgeon told me, I asked him like how this work influenced his work, his profession, and he said that after ayahuasca he began seeing humans in those criminals,
Yeah,
So
yeah.
just he still did what he had to do, and that's what you should do. I mean, you should
Yeah, but I mean,
solve crimes and do that stuff, but
Absolutely.
you don't, you still remember that's a human being there, you know what I mean? As
That
long, of course,
compassion.
he developed compassion.
Yep.
And I understand that, and I support it, because not every criminals are crooks, you know what I mean? It's like there are like deranged child molester that I have like zero compassion. These people like straight to the electric chair, no problem.
I'm
you know?
with you 100%.
But not everybody is a child molester. You know what I mean? There are many people who are in jails who well, first of all, there's many wrong convictions. I mean, it happens. People
tons
just
of
go to
wrong
jail for
convictions.
nothing.
Yes,
This is
especially in the
absolutely
States.
horrible. This is
Absolutely.
like the whole is. I mean, this is a ruthless justice system that just like they don't even see you. I mean,
Yeah.
people didn't commit even crime, and there was a wrong imprisonment. It's like
Well,
it's
I
the
mean,
worst thing that can happen to you.
It's
you
one of
know
the
what I mean?
worst things that can happen, and there's story after story after story of people who have spent the majority of their life in prison, like 15, 20 years, on an eyewitness conviction, and the eyewitness was paid off by somebody, by the prosecuting team
that is
or
so
by,
bad. I mean, that
you
is
know,
so bad. This is pure evil.
It's awful.
This is
Yeah.
evil. I mean, this prosecutor should be charged and rot in prison. I mean, the judge should rot in prison. The eyewitness should rot in prison. I mean, these people should really be
No.
punished, like in the most severe way possible.
Yeah, yeah.
To destroy someone else's life who is innocent is the crime. I mean, in my personal system of, I don't know how to call it. Like in my personal view, this one of the worst crimes you can commit as a human being to another human being is to false account.
To ruin someone's life.
To ruin someone's life for no reason. This is like
false imprisonment is
this
it's
is
a
like
serious
this
issue.
is serious crime. This is bad.
Yeah.
This is like I put it next to child molesters and rape and
Yeah,
this
murderers.
disgusting
Yep.
deranged crimes.
No.
That's for me that's as bad as
I agree
know?
with you. I
So
think it's
so
up
you
there.
can't like look at all of them like animals, and it's like it's like
Well, I mean that, and there are a lot of prisoners who grew up in a family of criminals. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like they didn't have a choice. And I'm not saying criminals are good people by any means. I'm not excusing the behavior of criminals by any means. But as a prison guard and as someone who works in that system, you have to know that not everyone
discernment. You
is.
should practice discernment.
Yes, and so to
You
be
know,
able
yeah.
to have a place to come and to heal and to discharge, and then to find that compassion for your fellow human being,
Imagine how
it's-
important that for these guys in prison who are wrongly convicted, and there is nobody there to talk. Everybody look down to them. Everybody treat them like like animals.
Yeah.
and someone with compassion there, it's like that would be like a God-sent person.
Absolutely.
That's just a good thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, of course, to practice discernment
Yeah.
and see who you talk to, you
Yeah.
know? People who deserve kindness, they should get kindness.
Yeah.
People who deserve death sentence should get death sentence.
Yeah.
I'm like completely cool with both, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So that would be interesting to work with him and see
Yeah.
how that
Yeah.
transform
I'm interested to see
his
how
relation
that
to
transforms him
him and his relation to the
and
work.
then his future in the line
Yeah,
of work
that would be
he's
interesting.
chosen. Yeah.
So, what else? Oh, okay. One thing I wanted to say that sorry for not being there for you as much as I would like to because I was sick the whole time. First time in my life, I mean, in serving medicine here for like 13 years already here. I had cold for like 3 weeks. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah,
it was
you were
up
sick
and
for
down,
3
but
weeks.
I was sick the whole time.
I was worried about you. Yeah.
I was like, man, I can't get out of it. You know what I mean? I feel like maybe I got COVID again, but that didn't feel like COVID this time. You
Yeah.
know? COVID was different, you know.
Yeah.
So it was like organic cold. It's like very nasty, you know.
Well, you worked yourself sick. Getting the
Yeah,
book published.
yeah, that was
and,
like a
late
lot,
nights,
a lot.
early mornings.
I
Stress,
worked the
stress,
whole
stress.
thing,
Yeah.
trying to wrap up the book,
Yeah. You know.
big group, you know, family. It was a lot, you know, no rest.
Yeah.
So I think I had my immune system kind of got down, you know, because
Yeah.
usually it's like if it's cold, it's like a day, you know, 2 days max, and then I'm okay, you know,
Yeah.
running. It's like I don't remember when I had to even move ceremonies one day over years. You know
My
what I mean?
first week here, yeah, you had to move a couple of ceremonies.
One,
You
one
didn't.
day,
One day, yeah.
one day we'll move because of that, and then it just continued the whole time.
Yeah.
So I'm still coughing a little bit, like a residual cough.
Yeah.
You know, it's not even like bad, but just sort
Yeah.
of. But I'm back. You know, I'm back to my powers, and that's good. But I just felt bad that I didn't give you enough of myself.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, still held the place for you and being there when I felt like I need to be, but I usually give more. I want to give more of myself to people, you know.
Yeah.
But this time it was just hard. So I hope you didn't feel like you were like abandoned there in the field.
No.
And, you know what I mean?
No. My personal journey is one where I really needed my space and that time to myself to reflect and go internal quite a lot. So, in my opinion, your sickness didn't affect my healing at all because it felt like when I did need you, you came. You know what I mean? I felt like I got the perfect amount of time with you in my ceremonies and out of ceremony as well. And to me, it was absolutely not a bad situation at all for you to need more rest on a couple of days. And actually, I was just so happy that you were able to show up and be present for us and sit in ceremony with us, you know. And so for me, no hard feelings about that at all.
Good.
It was actually
Okay,
really,
well,
really perfect.
I'm glad that you feel that way. That's
Yeah.
very good. So how do you live? Who is living?
So I leave here almost a different Brook. I mean, I'm leaving definitely a different Brook than when I came, but I'm leaving a different adult too. You know, I'm 45 and I've never felt this connected to myself. I've never felt this pure joy and enlightenment and strength and clarity. And so I leave stronger, and I feel like my integration, even though I've heard that it can be quite challenging, I'm gonna do what you taught me and do what the medicine taught me. And I'm going to go to nature. I'm going to sit with myself. I'm going to continue journaling. So I've got this big toolbox that I'm bringing home with me.
It's a mushroom.
This. Yep. I'll eat this. I'll eat psilocybin and go to nature. And spend, you know, I just intend to spend quite a bit of quality time in nature. And with
Yeah.
my new line of work as a wildland fire medic, I'll be out in nature for 10-hour day. You know what I mean? 10-hour days, 14-day deployments. And so even in my new line of work, I'll be out in nature, which is just, I'm thrilled
Which is
about.
good.
I'm so excited. Yeah, I needed that.
Well, you know, the integration is a natural process. It's not something you worry about. You just live
Yeah.
your life through the experience you have. You
Yeah.
know, just do what the medicine told you. Just follow the guidance. You know.
Yeah.
And that's how you integrate that into your life. Your new life become this.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like a separate thing. It's becoming.
No, because the Huachuma and the lessons that I took, a lot of times I really had a hard time finding words for it, which I don't mind at all, actually, because it's in here. It's in here. It's in here. It's in my soul. You know what I mean? It's integrated within me, and so I'll carry it with me forever. And I think that, I'm not expecting it to just, like, I'm going to go home and just be happy all the time, and it's just going to be super easy. But I have different tools and a different perception and different clarity. My mind is clearer. I'm stronger. And most importantly, I'm full of love. I'm self-connected. But the clarity that I feel is it's a gift.
Yeah, Huachuma is the compass of clarity.
Yeah.
And connection,
Yeah.
definitely. And that's the way to deal with life. You
Yeah.
know, it's you're no longer foggy minded, you know, you're clear minded.
Well, I was foggy from life, and then poisoning myself day in and day out with alcohol, and so
Just adding more fog to your fog.
fog to my fog.
You
So it
know.
was like a triple fog situation. Yeah, triple fog. So that's how I'm going home. Lighter, happier, stronger,
Wonderful.
full of love, Brook. Yeah.
Wonderful. That's a really good,
Yeah.
good transformation. And it's always rewarding to see people change.
Oh
you
man,
know.
your line of work, your soul engineering, that has to be so rewarding on many, many occasions. Yeah,
Yeah, that's pretty much describes that.
yeah,
You know, taking the scattered pieces of soul and bringing them together into one
Yeah.
whole being again.
one whole
That
being.
yeah, that's what they call it, soul retrieval. You know,
Mhm.
but you know, I don't even use those names here. It's beyond that. You know? And also, soul retrieval is kind of corrupt. You Google this up, and then you see all those kind of soul retrievals, man. What they offer is just pure charlatanism. You know, it's like
Yeah,
I don't even speak that language. You know what I mean?
I
It's
like soul engineering.
soul
Do you know what I
engineering
mean?
is good, yeah.
You know, engineering, you kind of figure out the code and the puzzle, and
Put them
you and the
together.
Huachuma and the nature and everything works together to kind
Yeah.
of engineer people back to themselves and back to wholeness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of reverse engineering, you know. kind of going back.
Yeah, you're
Getting the-
engineering things apart and then back together, right?
Back together. First you de-engineer things, kind of like, and then you put them back in different order.
Yes, Huachuma
That
coding.
is whole. Yeah,
Yeah.
Huachuma coding is a good. It's a good way to say that.
Yeah.
Huachuma coding.
Yeah.
I never saw myself as a coder. You know, I'm like
You're like
anti-coder.
anti-coder.
I'm
but,
the anti-coder. It's like, you know.
But it's an analogy that I think people can understand
Yeah.
nowadays. So,
That's a very good one.
yeah.
That's a very good, and it's very effective.
Yeah.
Many lives been changed and saved here. So
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
just a fact.
Yep.
So
Yeah, I can attest to that.
that's what the
Mine being one
medicine
of them.
does.
Yeah.
That's what the medicine does. You know,
Yeah.
I'm here to help the medicine to do the work. You
Yeah.
know, it's the medicine is the healer and the teacher, and I'm here to help this happen.
Facilitate.
You know, so you know, through my experience, through my life experiences, through my spiritual search, through everything together, I have an understanding that I share through the medicine that can lead to healing.
Yeah.
You know, it's a together thing.
Well,
You
I
know?
mean, you're all in. You're 100%
Yeah, of course.
in
Of course.
on this.
That's what we do for a living. I don't do
commitment that
anything
you've made
else.
to the medicine
It's a commitment,
and to fellow
life-
human beings. You
lifelong.
know, and it's a beautiful thing. Is it true that every brick that built this wellness
Yeah.
center is dipped in the medicine?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, of that place, of the first
Oh,
original
of the
house.
main
yeah,
house,
The main
okay.
house. Our house, not every brick, but every joint, every place, every joint have
so
my
you
medicine.
made sure that the medicine.
Yeah, it's
is in-
everywhere. It's in everywhere,
It's in
but in every
everything.
structure. But the first house, actually, every brick had my medicine. And it's like,
Wow. Wow.
you know, so you basically live in the cactus, you know.
Yeah.
Like right there.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like you
yeah.
live in the cactus.
Yeah, you can feel the energy.
It's a cactus
you know?
house.
You know, as soon as I walked through the gate, I could feel, the energy. You know, and then after the first week, and then after the second week, it's like when we get home from ceremony,
Yeah, you feel.
I'm always like, oh, it's so good to be
good.
home. I love coming home.
All right.
So, one of the pieces to my coming here was that I had a few friends who came and were able to speak to you and your medicine. But I was determined to find a female shaman. I work with almost all females. My doctors are all female. My therapists are all female. Do you know what I mean? I'm comfortable with men, very comfortable. I work with a lot of men. But that was kind of one thing that I was really focused on finding. And there aren't very many out there, first and foremost. But mostly, I couldn't find any longer retreats. And I was so broken and so depressed and so sick with my alcohol addiction. I knew that I wanted to come for at least a month. And I couldn't find a place that even accepted people for that period of time that was anywhere affordable for me. So with the testimony of my friends, I came here, I put aside my female shaman focus and thought maybe that's my future. You know what I mean? But for now, I'm going to Huachuma Wasi. And one of the biggest, most beautiful surprises for me when I started working with you and your medicine was that, and I hope I don't offend you with this, but you have a very feminine approach to the way that you talk to me. And when I worked with the medicine, I felt a very feminine side to it. And as a matter of fact, during ceremony, several times, I would very naturally, when I was talking to Huachuma, talking to spirit, I would say she or her. And so I corrected myself because from all of my research and everything that everyone has ever told me is that ayahuasca is the grandmother and Huachuma San Pedro is the grandfather. So I kept correcting myself. And you have a very masculine side too. Like I think you have a really good balance. But for me, in my quest to work with a female, that was super surprising and really, really comfortable for me. And so, do you see that at all in your medicine, or?
Yeah, it's very interesting that you say that because that's true that people refer to Huachuma as a masculine spirit, as a grandfather, and that's how I was introduced to it too, through Howard. He referred to it as a grandfather for sure, and to other people too, who I met later. But it was interesting that, in my experience, from the beginning, it was kind of, I was struggling with this because I was hearing this from them, from my teachers, and yet my experience was telling me different things. It felt like I was working with, at the very least, with the feminine side of Huachuma,
Yeah.
But I never heard it from anyone, so I thought, I don't know, just strange, I just didn't know what to do with it.
But from the very first time you met Huachuma, you felt a feminine presence?
Yeah, definitely. For me, it was just mother nature.
Yeah.
It just was motherly energy. It was both. I felt both the spirit of like a loving grandfather.
Yeah.
Like a loving, smiling grandfather, but also a loving, smiling grandmother.
Yeah.
It was both. I couldn't really tell. I couldn't really have that distinctions as I would hear it from my teachers.
Yeah.
So I didn't know how to think about this other than what I felt about this.
Yeah.
But that changed years later. That's just like 10 years later. 12 years later, when I met Juan, our ayahuasquero.
Yeah.
And when he did the reading for me, he saw that Huachuma, loved me very much. It's like he said that, like, you're a good student and she loves you. She teaches you well.
Yeah.
That's what she said. And I was like, did I hear him right? I mean, he referred to the medicine as she. But that's what it is. And I asked him about this. And he said, yeah, you have a special connection with the feminine side of Huachuma. That's what he said.
That's beautiful.
And I said, like, whoa, that's not even something I thought existed.
Yeah.
Other than my thoughts about this, you know.
Yeah.
But he kind of confirmed my own experience,
Your
my
own
feeling,
intuition.
my
Yeah.
intuition about this. Yeah.
So that's going into your medicine, which is why I felt it.
Yes.
I know one of the other guests here, him and I have had some conversations about it, and he feels it too. And so I wonder if that's something specific and special to your connection to the medicine.
Seems
And,
like that's
and
the
that's
case.
one of the things you're cooking into the medicine, obviously.
That seems to be the case because it's not something you hear often.
Yeah.
It's like it's not.
It was such a surprise, but just a wonderful and comforting surprise for me to have that feminine piece to this puzzle.
You know, the only time when I heard this, it was from a friend of mine. You know, these are the people who run Peyote Way Church of God in Arizona,
Yeah, yeah.
and really good people. And I strongly recommend you go and meet them and drink peyote with them.
I will.
And that's the only place where you can do it by being non-religious, like non-Indian. You can just.
Oh, okay.
It's a legal way to do peyote in America.
In the States, huh?
In the States,
Nice,
in Arizona,
okay.
and you don't have to be Native American member, nothing. It's just that's a legal place. They fought through court, through this. This is like really they made it.
They battled
possible.
to
They
be
battled. Oh
able
yeah, yeah. One of their founding member was a Native American peyoteer, and he worked with them, and he fought for the right of all people have medicine. It's not reserved to just natives.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh,
It's like
nice.
it's beautiful. I speak about this in one of my books.
Okay.
But you just go there and you meet with the very good people,
And
humble, down to earth, sincere medicine people.
It's a couple.
It's a couple. Yeah, they have
Mm,
family there,
couple.
and they build a place like in the middle of Arawaipa Valley. You come, they give you the medicine, the firewood, and the stars, and you sit with it all night. It's like it's great place if you're ready for that, you
Yeah.
know. But after this work, you will be ready for that.
Oh,
You are
good.
ready for
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Okay, good.
And that's a wonderful place to reconnect to the medicine, kind of see the whole thing that happened to you in Peru
Yeah.
there. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So, in one of our conversations, Annie, she referred to peyote as she.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of stuck in my head because I never heard anyone doing that. Because people that work with Mexico, they always refer grandfather.
Peyote's grandfather
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
exactly like Huachuma, you know.
Mm.
But she referred to peyote as she, and that's kind of I never forgot that. And
Yeah.
I was like, really? It's
Yeah.
like that's so. And I thought like, okay, maybe because of she's a woman and she sees that through her female lens.
Yeah, yeah. But
So,
one
but
saw
I
it
c-
in
yeah,
you.
but also in me.
Yeah.
So, although peyote for me it was definitely masculine spirit
Yeah,
through my perception. It
Yeah.
wasn't motherly energy there. It was masculine, you know.
yeah.
Very beautiful, of course, masculine spirit. With Huachuma, I feel more feminine connection, you know.
Yeah.
And it's hard to tell because my connection with nature is so deep that it's all one thing. It's me, nature, and the medicine. It's all one. So
Yeah.
it could be that the mother nature makes it feel as feminine. You know what I mean?
It
Could
could
be.
be.
Could be.
It
Or
could
it
be.
could be that I actually have some kind of special connection with feminine side as one saw it in
Yeah.
his reading.
That's
So-
what I felt in ceremonies, and that's what I felt in our work together. Was a very nice balance of the
Balance,
feminine and masculine sides, and so yeah, that was actually really wonderful.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Okay.
I think we talked about everything already.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Anything?
No, I think we
Anything
covered.
about
I think we covered everything.
everything? So everything. Maybe you want to say something about how you're going home and see your children.
Oh, I can't wait to get home to hug my babies. Hugging them is one of my biggest comforts in life because you know, A, I'm a huge hugger, but B, my babies, I grew them in my stomach, and so when I hug them, we hold for a long time too. Like me and my boys, we hug for a long time,
Beautiful.
and our hearts are together, and our, you know what I mean,
Beautiful.
we come in unity. So I'm excited to see them, their smiling faces. I'm excited to share this experience with them, and my entire family and all my close friends too. I'm just excited to share the joy, to share the love, to share the happiness, and that's one of my biggest asks from Huachuma in my last ceremony was that please teach me how to share this in a way that can reach people and help people know that there's an answer out there.
And my babies too.
That is beautiful,
Yeah.
and hopefully to see them here
Oh
and to
man,
work with them and to bring them up to speed.
you're probably pretty guaranteed to see both of my boys here at some point.
Wonderful.
Absolutely, yeah.
And it would be good also to do it together with you.
Oh, absolutely.
It's very beautiful when people come with families.
Yeah,
It's very beautiful because the bond that is being created through this work is amazing.
Yeah.
It's beyond parent and children. It's a spiritual connection.
oh,
That kind of it's a spiritual dimension that you
I've
bring into your
experienced it with
relationship.
people I've known for a week, 2 weeks,
Yes.
1 month. You know what I mean? It's almost like I became a time traveler because people I was with for 5-7 days, it felt like 5-7 months. You know what I mean? The
Yeah.
connection is so deep and so rich. So I can imagine that bringing my children here, who I've spent nearly every day
Yeah.
with of their lives with, you know what I mean? It's
Incredible.
just going to be like deeper and deeper and meshing together
Beautiful.
more spiritually and more connected. So yeah, I'm excited about that.
Okay, what would you like to say to people who will watch this video, who would want to come but would be afraid, thinking that, just like a cultural stigma, we'll think, oh, what is it? This is drugs, hallucinogens.
Yeah.
What are they doing there in Peru?
Yeah.
What would you tell these people?
Yeah. It is a common perception of society. I live in America, so I can really only speak to that. But that it's dirty, you're druggies. Do you know what I mean? You're going to escape. And what I would say is it's the exact opposite of that. This is not drugs. This is plant medicine. This is healing. And I'm not escaping anything. If anything, I'm running towards
embracing.
myself. I'm embracing and finding myself more than ever. And just, yeah, it's intimidating. I was intimidated. It took me a while to pull the trigger on this because I've never done anything mescaline based. I didn't know what to expect with Huachuma. And the last thing that I needed at the place that I was at in my life, which was in the tank and broken, was to have like my dark side, which I think we all have one, thrown in my face, and me having to sit here in Peru all alone and process like every bad thing I've ever done or every hard thing that I've ever done. And there was none of that. Yes, I went through some of the things that I feel guilty about, and I was able to process those. But more importantly, it was just like this gentle, loving, powerful approach to replace my negative self-talk, my guilt, my shame, my anxiety with love, with clarity, with peace, and with connection. And I cannot speak to how gentle and beautiful this medicine is. There's not one scary thing about it. Not one scary thing about it. Even the engagement with the medicine is just so gentle and so easy and so beautiful that I would say get here now as quickly as you can. Like buy the ticket
Now.
to Cusco now. Everything is taken care of for you. The Huachuma Wasi sends a car for you. They meet you at the airport. They drop you off at the front gate. They carry your suitcase in. They order your food. It gets delivered to the door. You're well taken care of.
You get
it's
massages here.
massages every week that are like
Sauna.
so good. You get the sauna every week. Healthy food. Everything's grown locally, organic. The fish is caught right here in the rivers outside of Calca. And yeah, you want to feel good, you want to heal, get here now. That's what I would say.
Yeah, that's a beautiful message,
Yeah.
for everyone who sincerely seeking healing and understanding of
You can
themselves.
be scary and it's hard to pull the trigger, but sometimes you just have to trust.
Yeah.
You just have to trust. And you've got person after person and testimony after testimony of the healing and the beauty and the connection and the clarity. Like, you know what I mean? It's kind of a no-brainer. You know you're going to be safe. You know you can trust the medicine. You know you can trust the environment. You're going to feel healthy. You're going to feel well. You're going to get, connection and clarity. Like there's no negative side effects. Back to the side effects. None.
Yeah, exactly. And what's scarier than living in the world today? I mean, think about scary stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah, no kidding.
No kidding,
You
I
think
mean-
this is scary to come to Peru and drink
know.
medicine in a beautiful environment in the sacred valley.
surrounded by
Like
amazing
every
mountains.
direction that you look is, I feel like I'm in a painting every day.
Yeah.
Especially when we walk out of the river. That's my favorite walk yet. But
Yeah.
oh man, there's so many more scary things in life. And you know what's even scarier is to live sick and to live unhappy and to live
Yeah.
unwell, and there's an answer
And
right
hopeless.
here, and hopeless.
That is scary.
And there's a simple answer just right here,
Yeah,
you know?
that's it. It's like it's just a matter of perception.
Yeah.
If you understand things in that way, if you see things in that light, then
Yeah.
you understand what you should be afraid of.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
you come
absolutely.
here to heal
Yeah.
the fear,
Yeah.
to cure the fear.
Oh,
That's what you come here.
I was
to do,
so
you
full
know,
of
man.
fear. I even had friends who came here and was able to tell me what the experience would be like a little bit. But man, I was scared. It was so scary. And anxiety through the roof.
But before we started the work, then it's just
Oh.
like,
Ceremony one.
yeah.
Ceremony one. It just started to layer by layer go down, go down. Yeah.
Well, you know, we really enjoy having you here. You're one of the best guests, very respectful, very non-demanding, you know. Usually we have good people, 99%
No,
people.
everyone.
Some
has been
people
here.
are, you know, some people difficult and demanding, but usually they cool off as we
Yeah.
drink the medicine, you
Yeah.
know. So everybody
Just
can-
relax, man.
Just relax, you know. Exactly.
Just relax, man. Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Just, you know, just drink the medicine,
Yeah.
relax,
Yeah.
and, you know, the medicine will take your mask off and will kind of show you who you are, and, you know.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like-
I was so sick
and
of wearing
gentle
this
and-
mask. I was
yeah,
tired
it's
of
like-
it.
And we're not talking about COVID mask. I mean,
No,
we're
no,
talking about-
we're not talking about masks.
Yeah.
Masks.
We're
We're
talking about
talking about
psychological
social,
masks. Social-
psychological masks.
yeah,
Yes.
which get taken down here.
Yes, they do.
Either voluntarily or forcibly,
Yep.
but it will be taken down. So,
And that's what
You
I
know.
came here for. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I was seeking that. And I was seeking to heal from my alcohol addiction. And I was seeking to repattern and rehab it. And being here helped me achieve everything. And then even more than
It's
I ever
beyond
thought
that.
was possible.
yes, that's how it is.
Yeah.
The sickness bring you here, but then you happy. Then you, it's almost like it's ironic that you become grateful for having the sickness in the first place
'Cause it
because it
brought
brought
me
you
here.
here.
Yeah.
You would never consider this in your life. You would be maybe too scared, too you know uncertain. But when you come out of kind of need
Yeah.
and necessity and desperation, then you have nothing to lose. You only hope for healing, and then you receive healing and so much more on top of it. Then you like, thank you depression, thank you fatigue, thank you this,
Thank you,
that.
life,
Yeah.
for beating me down and throwing me
Yeah.
down and all of the tough lessons that life gave me, because yeah, it brought me here. And now I have a place to come to find my heart, find myself. You know, when I get disconnected, I'll just be right back here. Before
it.
I get disconnected even. You know what I mean?
And that's if you even will get disconnected. You know, after this work, will be harder to lose your way.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it can happen if life gets too tough and you know
Yeah.
you run for a while, but you
Yeah.
still the awareness is still there.
Yeah.
So
And
you will see it.
and the
you will
ability
see
to
it.
think clear and
Yeah.
and feel more balanced. So making those choices that stack up to the, you know what I mean, to continue to hold this joy and this peace within myself. I think, yeah. Huge.
So you're going home in a better shape.
just a little
Just
bit.
a little.
Yeah, look at his smile. I can't stop smiling. I can't stop laughing. Yeah. I mean, I'm not healed by any means, but I am healthy, strong, connected, and I
Well,
just
that is
I'll
healing.
continue
That is
to.
healing.
It's healing, but yeah, I still have work to do.
Yeah,
You know
of
what I mean?
course.
It's not
No, the
weird.
work is not done.
No.
And there is like more work ahead, but
Yeah.
it's certainly the progress is certainly another stage in your life, and the baseline of consciousness
This-
is higher now.
This 5 weeks, hands down, the best investment I've ever made in myself, and will change my life forever and everyone close to me, because they get
Yeah, they get a
new
better
Brooke,
you.
a better version of me.
Of
Yeah,
course.
yeah. So
Sounds good, Brook. Well, thank you very much for being here, being who you are,
thank you.
for trusting the medicine, trusting the guidance, and showing up. You know,
Yeah.
showing up.
Yeah, I'm glad I got here, and thank you, Sergey, for doing what you do. I honor your path
Thank you.
and your commitment to the medicine and to
course.
your soul engineering.
Thank you.
Huachuma coding.
Huachuma coding.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, well, Brooke, thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the journey. I'm happy to assist with some microdosing for the flight
Yeah,
if you want,
Yeah,
just to
I'm-
remove travel anxiety.
yeah. I'm in for the microdose as long as I'm not going to be.
Running on the plane like, let me out, let me out.
I need to
air.
go.
I need air. I need air.
I can't
I need
breathe
trees.
in here. Yeah, I need trees.
I need trees.
No. A little bit though. That actually sounds really nice.
Yeah,
I've
microdosing is good.
psilocybin, so
No,
I
it's
mean,
very
I'm sure
good. Microdose
it's
is very
similar.
good. Yeah, it just
Similar
removes
with the
your,
Huachuma.
yeah, it just removes your travel anxiety.
Just
You just
relax.
sit and just relax and you know, just enjoy the flight back.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, yeah.
Just-
That sounds wonderful.
All right, so
Okay.
let's do that, and you still need to pack. Or
Yes, yeah. I gotta go finish
Okay.
packing, and then
And
I'm
then
gonna have
eat ceviche.
ceviche and causa in the sunshine here,
All right,
and
wonderful,
hang out
wonderful.
with the guys before I take
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank
Yeah.
you very much, Brooke.
off. Thank you.
So hug,
Hug.
hug.
Yes.
All right. All right. All right. Well, enjoy the rest of it, and I'll see you soon.
Okay. Thank you, Sergey.
All right.
I love you, Gales.